Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good week so far. And welcome to the shit show. Hope you're excited. We're covering all sorts of out there stuff today, so should be fun. Good to see all of you, at least those of you that are here to see. How's it going? Good, I hope. Let's see, what, if anything, I missed Halloween Town on a 3-stream streak. It's definitely more than that, I know that. And I think that's about it. How's everyone else doing? Good, I hope. I thought we'd start with some short stuff and then jump right into it. Sound good? I'm assuming yes. As a kid, I never thought I'd be on the opposite side of the Blue's Clues scenario where you're talking to an audience that can't actually respond. Just saying. If anyone notices any paw prints behind me, also let me know. I'm trying to solve a murder, and any clues would be helpful. Avant Gardner with 100 bits says, good news and bad. Good, nothing is wrong with my car, just my key. Bad news, I had to pay for that tow yesterday. Bummer, but at least it wasn't something too bad to fix, you know, after the fact. What else? There was a Black's Law Dictionary request. Midnight, what do you want me to look up for the Black's Law Dictionary request? Well, we get into some conspiracy stuff. We are doing bingo today, so if you want to get your bingo card ready, you can do so. First winner gets a gift sub for themselves or a person of their choice. Or random. Whatevs.
Can somebody please explain to me what fresh hell is this?
Avant Gardner with 200 bits. Orion Cooper, thanks for your membership. Let me move this a little bit. I'm sorry, I still have this set for, Pickup Artist yesterday, so the screen's all fucked. Let me fix it. I might be the Laughing Man. Thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Jurisdiction? Sure. Once I fix this, I will look that up. Yeah, let's shrink that. I'll have to resize again for YouTube, but it's at least good enough for... Oh, I thought there was something else. Jesus, I shrunk this thing down way more than I thought. There we go. You don't need to see all my tabs, how I organize things. It's embarrassing. It's chaos. Anyway, here we go. So it's a big marionette puppet. Have you ever seen Being John Malkovich? You've seen stuff like this. Avant Gardner with 100 bits says, Train? Which should have kicked it off, but it didn't. Is Twitch Hype Train being weird today? Kind of feels like it. Putting evil music over it doesn't make it evil. That's not how anything works. It's literally just people doing a big marionette puppet of a diver. Is it a little creepy? A little. But that depends on how creepy you find marionettes in general. Just saying. It's fine. It's a big puppet. You don't have to personally like it to understand other people do, and it's not nefarious. Terradona with 100 bits does kick off the hype train. Bumble Homestead with 300 says, the ballet is doing Romeo and Juliet, so I get to make fake cast iron skillets for the dancers to brandish at each other, and fake bread made from foam for the kids to chuck at children on the other side of the blood feud. That's pretty funny. And I might be the Laughing Man with 150 bits. Thank you. 57% to level 2.
Nah, I'm tapping out. 2024 can... No. Y'all can try to tell me that is a puppet all you want, but no. No. I said no.
Oh, she doesn't even just think it's evil. She doesn't believe it's a puppet. Ma'am, that's a puppet. That is 130,000% a puppet. You don't think they can make puppets that big? They can make big-ass puppets, let me tell ya. This isn't even new. Again, like if you've seen the film Being John Malkovich, the main character, one of the main characters, the protagonist, I guess? He's not a good guy. One of the main characters, the initial POV character of Being John Malkovich, is a puppeteer. He does marionettes. And in that movie, they show an actual big marionette. So they've had big-ass marionettes at least since, like, the early 2000s, whenever that movie was made, late 90s. So don't know why she thinks puppet technology is incapable of making big-ass puppets. But here we are. Puppet conspiracy. At least we didn't talk about puppet milk this time. Oh, fuck.
That, my friends, is 1000% a Nephilim in disguise as a...
Nephilim are so hot right now. You know how it was all, like, Tartaria, like, a month ago? Oh boy, Tartaria so last week. Fucking Nephilim. Nephilim are the rage this week. I'm not kidding. There are actual, like, trends, just like all social media. Conspiracy, like, areas of the internet have trends come and go. Right now, Nephilim, aka giants that are the descendants of human women and angels, like biblical angels, they believe these are real and are talking about them at great length. We have multiple Nephilim videos today. I didn't even know this had Nephilim in it. This is just happenstance because it really is a big talking point for them right now. Nephilim, or giants, on the bingo card.
As a puppet. I'm going to show you another video of this same puppet. This massive giant puppet that they were putting in the water, in the ocean, for whatever reason.
It's clearly a performance piece. Like, you see people there with a giant-ass puppet, you must understand that they're doing, like, a performance piece, right? Like, you don't have to like it. Like, not everyone is into puppetry. It's a very specific thing. I don't have some sort of passion for puppetry. I'm neutral on puppetry in general. It's a skill people have. That's great. That's cool. I see that, I go, oh, they're doing some sort of performance art. They're doing a performance. Awesome. Not that it's a giant and they're obfuscating it. I don't understand the worldview.
Whatever reason they want to tell you, they're putting it in there. I know what reason they're putting it in there for.
What's the reason? Chat, guess the reason. Who? We're gonna do Family Feud. Who in the world is gonna tell me what's on that board? What are they doing it for? What do you think? Someone let me know. 57% to level 2 on the hype train with a minute left. Nephilim clowns? Maybe. Baptism? Baptism? World domination. A bit broad. A bit broad. Grooming children. Trans agenda. Fame. Predictive programming. I think I like the idea of the baptism. I'm gonna go with the baptism one that a couple people said and add on to it that it's some sort of perversion of baptism. It's some sort of symbol perversion of baptism. So, do we have baptism? Survey says.
For sure. But I want you to pay attention to the eyes of this puppet as he's being put into the water. Not only does he appear...
Oh, she didn't even say what she knows for sure. That makes me sad.
...to look very aware of his surroundings.
Can you get a bingo card in YouTube chat? Yeah, there's a, you do exclamation point bingo and it should pop up, is it not? If so, I'll try and fix it. Overthought, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
But he also looks very concerned. I don't know if you know...
Yep, there's the bingo card. Should be a link from Streamlabs. Thank you for saving the hype train, Overthought. I think you did at least. Yeah, got us over level 2. Holy shit, that was like getting it down to the wire. Thank you, Overthought. Mike Max with 50 bits says if they ever see Supernatural, they'll lose their mind when they see Jack, a Nephilim and son of Lucifer and grandson of God, and end up defeating God and replacing him. I believe that all happens. It goes on for 15 seasons. I have the Blu-rays down here. Fuck. Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. You got me. You got me.
I know this, but I know this.
The puppet is made and performed by the French troupe Royale Deluxe. That's cool. I'd imagine that they're very good at what they do. Steichen Time, thank you for 5 months. Says, hi Hannah, apparently it's my 5-month sub anniversary. Well, thank you for 5 months of subbing. Appreciate it.
Most people should know this at this point. Giants do not like water. Genesis...
What do you mean giants don't like water? You can't just say that. Leprechauns hate, humidity. Leprechauns hate humidity. Like, you just make shit up. Unicorns do not like, cumin. They really fucking hate cumin. It's disgusting. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
Does flood much, but the part that gets me the most, not only about him looking around as they're submerging him, but as he closes his...
It's a puppet. They're puppeteering it. That's the point, is to make it look like it's alive. That's like the challenge, is to animate an inanimate object to make it feel like it is full of life. That's the trick. That's the skill, is being able to, like, make an inanimate seem animated. That's the whole thing. Rajing of the Clockwork says, with 8 months, this My, how time flies. According to Hans Wormhat, it's actually moving faster, so maybe he was right.
His eyes just before he goes under. Check it out.
Yeah, they're controlling the eyes, ma'am. There are ventriloquist dummies, and there are marionettes like that that have a lot of complex parts like that. You see them a lot in movies, actually. Like, a lot of animatronics are basically really complicated cyberpunk marionettes. Bumble Homestead, thanks for 200 bits. Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for gifting a sub. And DM Trace says, Storm Giant, in fact, do have a swim speed. D&D owned. Rules lawyered. 16% to level 4. Leprechauns also hate Jennifer Aniston. Well, who doesn't? Who can blame?
No, on every single level.
I have all of the Leprechaun movies behind me, by the way, because I am very into cinema.
I say no.
I've never seen a scene more impactful than in, I don't know, is it the first one where he uses a pogo stick to murder a pawn shop owner, or is that the second one? It's either the first one or the one where they're in Vegas. I don't remember.
Y'all, if anything has been taught to us in the...
Do I have all of Friends? No. I'm not even going to do the whole, like, oh, I hate Friends thing. I just don't like Friends. I just don't find it funny. You know, it's one of those things. Sitcoms have evolved a lot since the 90s and early 2000s, you know?
In the past couple of years, as the world has begun to have woken up, they're awake. We see. We know the truth by now. We are not asleep. And before I go any further on that note, can I just say how incredibly proud Auntie is of this world? Just the past couple of years alone, how everybody has woken up. Why can't I get that word right? We are awake. Our eyes are wide open. We have eyes to see and ears to hear, finally. And this world is fully aware of all of the lies we have been fed, well, since we were able to eat lies as children. That right there is a whole ass Nephilim, the biblical giant. That is not a puppet.
Ancient wisdom on the bingo card.
Which brings me to the other point of this video. There is a scripture in the Bible about the end of days that I believe has not been misinterpreted, but has had...
How can you even say that? You're not a biblical scholar. You don't know translations. You don't, like, how can you even say that? What?
Had a very large point in the scripture overlooked and missed, as it explains that in the end days, when Jesus Christ is to come back, it shall be just as the days of Noah. Now, everybody's just assuming, because during the Genesis flood, during the days of Noah, people were sinning.
I'm starting to think the Protestant Reformation was a mistake. I get you, Martin Luther. I get you. But if you consider that a lot of people are really dumb and are going to use scripture for stupid reasons, I mean, the Catholic Church does too, but goddamn. Don't put too much faith in the laity, Martin. Anyway, with 100 bits, it's the first leprechaun that pogos a man to death. It's one of my favorite scary movies, simply because of how goofy it is. Oh, it's great. And the little car he drives, I love it.
The world was full of evil and corruption. It says that people will be eating and drinking and marrying.
If you're gonna be a biblical literalist, the Nephilim are described as, like, heroes of old. It's written in a way that implies that they are no longer around. So I don't understand why she thinks there's room for them to be around, but whatever.
But that is not why God flooded this earth. And my dear friends, there was something much more massive.
Is not Brian.
Something so much
you are obligated.
Larger,
it's true.
Huge, gargantuan, nay, something giant was occurring during the days of Noah, the Nephilim. And although we had been taught since we were very little...
Isn't it weird how the Noah story never once brings up giants? Kind of feels like you're, reaching. A giant would be better at reaching. Because long arms.
Flooded the earth because of the sinful man. Just the past couple of years alone, we have all learned the true reason behind the Genesis flood. To rid the world of the Nephilim. The unholy offspring that was created between the fallen angels, the Watchers, and mortal women. The Nephilim, the giants, that according to the Book of Enoch stood 450 feet.
The Book of Enoch isn't even biblical canon.
Feet tall, were cannibalistic. Not only cannibalistic, but also started to devour almost all of man's sustainable natural resources. And when they got bored with that, yeah, they turned all right. They began to devour man. And when even that got boring for the old Nephilim, they turned on one another, devouring the flesh and drinking the blood. And God knew he...
I mean, there'd be an ultimate victor, though, then, right? There'd be one that, like, ate all of them and became the Highlander giant.
He had no other choice. He had to flood the world. Hence, the Genesis flood. God flooded the world to rid the world of the Nephilim.
Isn't it weird that the Noah story never once mentioned these, like, human-eating, world-eating giants? You'd think that would have been brought up. But no, afterthought. Cool. Thank you for the hype train, everyone. That was great. Appreciate it.
Because it was going to be, they were going to be, the reason for mankind's ultimate demise, but for another reason as well. To rid the world of the DNA of the Nephilim, the tainted bloodline.
Ah, yes, the Bible, very concerned with DNA.
Working overtime to alter, to taint, to ruin the DNA of man. Well, why would he do that, Auntie? Very, very, very good question. The devil knew that if the entire bloodline of mankind was riddled with Nephilim DNA, unholy DNA, the coming Messiah, Jesus Christ, would not and could not be born.
Why?
Not only did the devil know this, but of course God knew this too. And so he flooded the world to rid the world of the Nephilim DNA.
This is so weird and doesn't make sense. I feel like these people have never thought about, like, the actual implications of omnipotence or omniscience, and how the things they say don't really make sense with the full understanding of what those things would mean for a being. Whatever, this is supposed to be short. These are supposed to be short ones I watch. We're spending so much time. Oh.
Predict. The Miami Mall alien invasion. Yeah, aliens.
For those who didn't hear about this thing in Miami, basically a bunch of kids were causing trouble in this mall and setting off fireworks and generally being, you know, shitty, and made people think that there was a shooting happening. There wasn't. It was fireworks, but there was like a panic because this is America, and if you're in a mall and you hear a bunch of explosions that sound like gunshots, you're gonna run away and assume it's that. So it got called into the police. Like, dozens of police showed up to the mall. It was a whole fucking thing. Somewhere in all of this, conspiracy theorists started saying there were aliens there and looking at people's TikToks and being like, see this thing that's hard to see on the camera? This is an alien. You get it. Hopeless Nostalgic with $20 super chat says world-eating giant, so Galactus is in the Bible.
I brought you something to enhance your outfit.
Thank you. My serpent necklace.
Make sure this. There we go.
Chibahawk says it's frustratingly fascinating that the right-wing brainiacs have zero ability to take a thought to its completion. Fennikagami says the Nephilim are not the exclusivity the children... Exclusively, I assume? The children of mortals and fallen angels. They're also the children of regular angels. Nephilim are just half angels. Angels are apparently non-binary, as apparently mortal men can also make Nephilim. Yeah, in the Bible, a lot of angels are androgynous. Thank you!
But, of course, The Simpsons, in true Simpson fashion, they did. And although we
Predictive programming on the bingo card.
are all very clear as to what these aliens really are,
Sorry, I decided I
aliens,
needed a hug.
the makers of The Simpsons simply could not miss the opportunity to share, of course, their cryptic pre-programming, warning, anything basically but prediction, because by now, we know, of the incident that took place with 8 to 10 foot tall creatures allegedly teleporting into the Miami Mall.
Allegedly.
Check it out.
That's quite an allegation. I'm gonna use the
Look, they're raiding the...
goddamn Simpsons.
Stop! See? Hey, stop your thieving. I spent all my shit...
I'm concerned about showing it for copyright reasons, so I'm trying to skip through. You get it. There's aliens at a mall. Yes, predictive programming on the bingo card.
We must study him.
At this point, any major event that happens in this world that just doesn't make sense, we can pretty much...
What do you mean it doesn't make sense? It does make sense. A bunch of kids were being shitty, and everyone panicked because of the state of gun violence in the United States. That is a perfectly understandable, like, reality. I don't understand why you feel the need to fill it with a bunch of bullshit.
safely assume that, well, years ago, The Simpsons let us know it would happen, warning us, mocking us, and telling us exactly what the future does hold.
So I know something's happening.
Oh, I know it. I know it for a bunch of reasons. Yes, I feel it. I can sense it. Can't you sense it? I know we can all sense it, right?
Vibes-based conspiracy on the bingo card?
Or at least some of us can sense it. I can sense it. But more so than that, the internet is doing some weird shit. Now, I know my way around a terminal, and I have...
The reason they're confused is that 60 cops showed up for the arrest of 4 kids actually shooting off fireworks. Yeah, but, like, the cops were under the impression there was an active shooter incident happening. That's why all those cops showed up. Like, that's completely understandable, like, how that happened. People freaked out, called 911, said there was an active shooter, a bunch of cops were sent there. Like, that's completely understandable.
Of Cully set up, and I can tell you there is some weird internet shit going down. IP addresses can't be configured. I mean, what the fuck's up with that? We're not just losing signal, we're losing signal from point to point to point, which is very interesting. It means each terminal is reconfiguring itself to each other terminal, which is essentially causing havoc. And I've tested this on multiple routers now. And when you unplug them, put them back in, they work for a few minutes, but then they deconfigure again, which means that there is something definitely up. I know something's going up because...
Do you need a new router, sir?
Each one of my devices is acting independently, differently. It's not like it's a central thing that's happening. It's each one of them is doing some weird, spacey shit. So tell me, I mean, I don't know if this isn't like the entire world or if it's just South Africa, but is anyone else experiencing...
Yeah, I'll go word salad on the bingo card.
...some major disruption with the internet? Tell me.
Have.
Okay. Let's get to the main stuff. You know who we're checking in on? You know who we're checking in on.
All right. Same day. You know, once in a while you just get this amazing light show right over here. You see what I'm talking about? You know, with the sun going away and those clouds that are up on top. Those would be the chemtrails that they're plowing us with, because tomorrow we're getting a nice little snowstorm.
Chemtrails on the bingo card, and old man yells at clouds. As a tech guy, what the fuck was that guy talking about? Technology. It's above your pay grade. It's the super high-tech 7G alien white hat medbed technology that you're too normie to understand.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the wave of, what was that Star Trek? The first Star Trek they came out with?
The original series.
They had to land into this wave and make it come closer to to them, and then they would be captured, and then they would go...
Wait, are you talking about... Wait, what? This sounds like the plot of Star Trek Generations.
Back in time, or they'd be living forever. But anyway...
Yeah, he's describing Star Trek Generations. That's not from the series. That's fine. He's just misremembering, but that's a weird thing to misremember.
It does remind...
Yeah, he's talking about the Nexus. That's not even one of the good Star Trek movies, unfortunately. Hey, remember Jean-Luc's family that you met in multiple times, and how sweet the nephew is? They're dead now. They died off screen in a horrifying fire. So, how's that for a plot point? Fucking Robert. Hashtag justice for Robert.
Remind you of that. I'll put that in the description. But I mean, it is beautiful, and of course, away from the sun is our clear blue skies, crystal fucking clear.
Yes, Chris. Sometimes there are clouds over here, but not over there. Because they're different places in the sky.
Hide the sun. Oh, and there's our little guy right over here. Yeah, what is he doing?
Existing as a cloud. What do you even mean?
I can't see it from here. Most people are wondering why I'm doing this. Why? There you go. There it is. They're going to be doing this all night to intensify the storm for tomorrow.
That doesn't even make sense. It's like he doesn't even understand scale. Like, if you're talking about something like cloud seeding, which is a real thing, like, you need a lot more than this. Like, I don't understand what he thinks this is that would cause weather control.
We're predicting about
Weather control on the bingo card.
3 to 6 inches. Should be coming in about 8 p.m. Somewhere around there.
That's also what he tells his wife.
So, but they'll be creating these beautiful
Thanks, Professor Strange Finger.
clouds for us. Almost like a painting, isn't it? And there goes the sun. It's going away from us. Especially like that. I'm telling you, that does look like the rivet. I think that was Star Trek 4 or something. That's not the moon right up there. That.
I think Generations is 7. It's the first of the next gen movies. Let's see. Did I miss some bits? Picard's brother Robert wasn't cool about fire safety. Be cool about fire safety.
That up there on the top looks like the reflection of the sun. Yeah, there it is. I'll kind of bring it down a little bit.
I will say this. In Star Trek Generations, this might be controversial. I enjoy the Data getting emotions plot. It's not a great movie, but the end where he finds Spot and he cries, it gets me. It gets me.
Love the sun. Isn't it great? Smoking a joint. Isn't that great? I love it that they made marijuana legal. You can just smoke pot in your car all over the place.
That's illegal, actually, Chris. Like, if you see people smoking in their cars, if they're actually driving them, that's not cool. It's like open container laws. So that's not legal. I don't know why you're acting as though it's legal to drive while inebriated on THC. It isn't.
Oh man, those bastards. The politicians are
Those bastards.
just trying to kill us all. They don't give a f.
They're trying to kill us by not putting people in jail for making decisions about what they imbibe. Smart. Smart. We should actually imprison a bunch of people for their entire lives for stupid reasons. That's actually a better choice. Great.
Fuck anymore.
H. Baird with a link. If this is Star Trek, I can't play it.
Tell him he's a pretty cat. And a good cat.
That's all I can play.
Anyway, I don't want to get into that, but clear blue skies right over here, and of course the sun once again is covered, as always. And that's how it is.
The sun is not always covered, Chris.
They don't want you finding the truth.
Harold Elbelman, thanks for 29 months. Says 29 months, holy shit, what else can I say? Thanks for 29
Okay,
months.
stand by.
You gonna talk, Chris? Lovely. The title of this is Frozen Precipitation. Frozen precipitation not possible on a spinning wet ball in space on our flat Earth. It's just snow.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Did I know snow exists? I've heard of this thing you humans call snow. I find it unlikely.
Wherever you may be, CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 1/7. Check out the date there, I believe. Yeah, 1/7/2024. Making a cup of coffee. I'll get into that in a minute. This video is more for Google. You see, I know what you're up to, Google.
I know what you're up to, Google. You fuck. You think you got me? I got you pegged, Google.
Alright, so that 23-year-old kid
Patrick.
that's behind the computer watch my video right now? Fuck you.
I'm 29, just for the record.
The problem is that I have a problem with NASA, and yes, I might sometimes go on to the NASA live feed and troll
Oh, vacuuming.
the channel. I have enough trolls myself, but I have to troll that channel because I know it's all bullshit. All the clouds are standing still.
Clouds are not standing still, they move around. What?
That live feed doesn't make any sense at all to me. Okay? But the problem I have is that I can't leave comments on my videos to people that I would like to speak to. I could just give them hearts and checks, that's all I can do. When I try to press the comment button, all of a sudden things get obscure.
Oh, he's having probably technical issues with YouTube and he thinks it's a conspiracy in order to stop him from responding to people? No, Chris, it is probably a user issue, if I'm being honest.
Goes into
I don't think Cece's wife hates him as on the bingo card anymore.
cat block, and I'm typing, and there's nothing.
And even if it is, like, we don't have any indication of that right now.
So fuck you. Take the block off. Wake the fuck up. Alright. That's my little speech to Google, motherfuckers.
Does he legitimately think there's any person at Google that knows he exists at all?
You see how long it took me to make that cup of coffee? Not long at all. Frothy. Nice cup of coffee. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think about during this period of time. I like milk in my coffee and sugar. How long it took you to figure out that the Earth is flat?
Flat Earth on the bingo card.
Took you a while, didn't it?
How many views does he get? This one is 828 views, was posted a couple days ago. So he usually gets, you know, between 500 and 1,000 usually. Just depends on the video.
It sure did.
To be fair, Google may block flat earthers from leaving comments. I don't think they do. I've gotten, like, comments from flat earthers.
However, during this period of time, you think you can sit down with somebody over a cup of coffee and teach them that the Earth is flat.
Is Redcap whole milk? Is Chris a whole milk person?
Can't do it. Not over a cup of coffee. Not at all. No. In fact, the only way you're going to be able to figure out that the Earth is flat is to do your research. No one's going to tell you.
Do your research on the bingo card.
Okay? You got to go down there. And it's a big one. It's going to open up so many avenues that you wouldn't possibly ever think that you would ever see or even know about. As a flat earther, as long as I've been doing this, I had no idea. I used to look as mountains as plate tectonics. But now I know they're trees.
That mountain was a tree on the bingo card. God damn. He's so good at this. Medicated person, thanks for 25 months.
And the sky isn't blue because of the sun being projected onto the atmosphere. It's blue.
Refracted through, like, water vapor in the atmosphere.
Blue because it's sky ice.
It's blue because it's sky ice.
I know what we live on is a flat Earth. Flat, stationary. And we're not moving. There is no movement. And you'll never feel any movement. As a matter of fact, no one's ever been able to prove that there is movement. The pendulum.
Thank you for the reminder.
Sorry guys, it doesn't work. No, there's no movement.
Do I think Chris is actually capable of joy and amusement anymore? He laughs like a B-movie villain? No. I think his life is probably very stressful and anxiety-inducing because he has basically draped his worldview in delusion, in fiction, in a fiction where he is one of the only people who knows the truth. I gotta imagine that's, like, really depressing. It's unfortunate because it's like, it's something he did to himself. There's a... I guess I haven't read the original short story or whatever it was, but there was a series that adapted the stories of Philip K. Dick. And one of the episodes, which I assume is based on one of his stories, probably with some modern adaptations, involved someone who didn't know which reality was real. There were sort of two planes of reality, and in one they'd fall asleep and wake up in the other. And it was like, which one's real? And they ended up picking the fake one because it was one where, like, they were depressed and sad, and they had internalized guilt, and they thought they deserved it. I'm not saying that's what Chris is doing, I'm just saying it's interesting how people can trap themselves inside constructed worldviews that harm them, that hurt them, that belittle them and make them feel bad when they aren't true. You would think if people come up with, like, a fictive reality to live in for comfortability or whatever, it would be something better. It would be a vision of the world that's inaccurate, but at least brings you peace or happiness or something. But no, a lot of times people construct things that are really damaging for themselves. And it's really sad. Have I watched CC and seen if he's disagree? Wait, have I watched an on CC and seen if he has disagreed, or is he the same? On. I don't understand what you mean. Could you clarify? Fenekagami says, but Chris, why would sky ice be blue? Why is grass green? Why is your blood red? How does color work, Chris? Cashel Gladio says, the idea of rain my water from sky ice is a cool idea for a fantasy setting, but then I remember adults like CC believe it for real and I die a little inside. There's creative ideas for fictional cosmology. For sure. I'd agree.
Snow. I'm about to release a video right now.
Oh, has he regressed? Or is he the same? I see. I think he's gotten worse over time. I might just be wrong, but I think from when we started watching Chris to now, he's gotten worse. He's isolated himself further from people around him, from his own wife, from his family, and I think he's become more obsessive about it.
Now, you see how it's... Yeah, the snowflakes are coming down in different angles. Not possible on a spinning wet ball.
Why? They get blown in the wind.
As a matter of fact, I don't even think frozen precipitation is possible on a spinning wet ball.
Why?
I had a professor. He would get mad at you if you ever said snow to him. I don't know what his MO is that. I have no idea what his problem was with the word snow, but he would always say, no, frozen precipitation. Okay, so whatever. I don't think that's possible. Hail. The weatherman can't even explain hail.
I can't believe I'm looking this up, but this must exist somewhere. Weatherman explains hail. There was also a Magic School Bus episode that did this, Chris. You can look this up. Look, a 3-minute video from the fucking Weather Channel. Look, another one from the Weather Channel. Oh my god!
It's kind of amazing. We actually have a hail alley out there making up areas of Nebraska, also Colorado in size, and can cause large chunks of ice, which can vary any ice in the air. Well, we know that with the thunderstorm, in other words, the rising motion of the thunderstorm, to hold this ice in the air, that a severe thunderstorm can do is produce hail. Ice in the atmosphere, large chunks of ice, which can vary anywhere from pea size all the way up to softball
Fucking
size.
hail?
And
How does that
cause,
work?
if you're a farmer, you know what I'm talking about. Billions of dollars worth of damage in crops. Let's talk about pea size. And what we're talking about here is updraft strength. What does it take with the thunderstorm? In other words,
He mostly thinks the Weather Channel is fake, but that's not what he said. He said weathermen can't explain it. That's what he said. I'm addressing what he said.
Motion of the thunderstorm to hold this ice in the air. Well, we know that air rises and gets up to a level where it starts to freeze. So once this super cool...
If he doesn't like the explanation from the Weather Channel, there are about 50 other videos from different people explaining it, other weather people doing it. So, like, if he really wants to know, it exists. That's something that frustrates me about Chris, is he will say things like that, and it's just clear he never even looked. For as much as he, like, touts, like, do your own research, he doesn't even Google shit. He doesn't even do the lazy conspiracy version of research. His version of research is thinking a thought and going, yeah, that's probably true, and then saying it. That's what he considers research.
Floods.
Weatherman can't explain it equals I can't bother to look it up.
Storms that are coming in from California that are all of a sudden predicted to hit New York. On a flat, stationary land, that's possible. On a spinning wet ball, that weather over there is not going to hit New York.
That doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does.
Okay? That's 3,000 miles away in California.
Okay? It would still be that many miles away on a flat Earth, because we know, because people travel from New York to California every single day, and we know the distance. So regardless of what you think the shape of the Earth is, it's still that distance.
There's no way to predict that on a spinning wet ball.
What do you mean? Yes, there is! It's called meteorology! It's an entire field of study!
On a flat stationary Earth, yes, you can predict it.
What?
It all comes down to the weather. Clouds. They're not moving. About any pictures we see from NASA. They're stationary. There are no stars in this mysterious space that they want you to look at, this blacked out sky, but there are no stars. No stars from the moon landing in 69 all the way up to 72. No stars at all whatsoever. Of all
Chris,
the shuttle...
It's because, again, we've explained this, you've had this explained to you by other people, the exposure of the cameras is set to pick up light from the moon's surface, and if you set it to pick up light from the sky, then the moon's surface would be blown out. Doesn't understand how cameras work. On the bingo card.
And all of the videos that we've had...
We'll look at the bingo card after this video, by the way.
Stars exist. Yet the top professors should say, and they know, that if there was a space, and you can go outside of this container you live in, the stars should be spectacular. Okay? Because they tell you that the atmosphere of Earth is a problem. So that's why you see them flickering. But it should be fantastic. It should be an amazing light show. But
I mean, I'm sure they're beautiful, but like, what do you, I don't understand what your point is? It doesn't change how cameras work.
Anything. No stars. And that's what NASA has to do. They have to take out the stars. Sucks. Alright, just touching base with everybody.
Nexibus, thanks for subscribing.
No, you're not going to be able to tell anybody and explain to everybody that the Earth is flat over a cup of coffee. You've got to give them little seeds and let them grow. Start with NASA. Start with Devil's Tower. A lot of things you can start off with. I'll leave it up to you. But this is not going to convince anybody. They have to go through the research. Below, I'm going to give you Dave's app. It's a good start to begin. A good start to begin. A good place to begin. I was telling somebody, I was in Best Buy the other day. No, Target. And I was like,
How do you confuse a Best Buy and a Target? Those are very different stores.
It is the Mark Sargent Flat Earth Clues. Because when you type in Flat Earth right now into Google, you're going to be fed bullshit, nonsense, and crap.
I think Mark Twain once said something along the lines of, it's easier to fool someone than convince someone they've been fooled. Good example of that, I'd think. It's not that I was fed bad information earlier that Google corrected. No. They're feeding me bad information now, and now they're trying to trick me to saying I've been tricked.
That's fine.
Yeah, he believes the Giants, Devil's Tower, Tartaria stuff. He's into Tartaria.
Links below. Don't forget about me. Referral code CC911. Take me a second. Thank you for subbing and thank you for viewing my videos. Let me be a part of your life.
That's great, Lennon Cat.
This isn't the standard.
That's funny. Alright, so that's what Chris has been up to. Let's take a look at the bingo card before we move on to the next topic. Oh, my goodness. Mountain was a giant tree. Predictive programming. Do your own research. Weather control, chemtrails. Yep, aliens for the Florida Mall, you're right. Satanic. Idiot says they're a genius. Word salad. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. My research said by an unresearcher. Yells at clouds. Giants. Vibes-based conspiracy. Doesn't understand how cameras work. Flat Earth. Ancient wisdom. Am I missing any? Where was Yells at Clouds, actually? Nope, I got it. Cool. 64. Yeah, Hannah and Baja flirt for when she did the necklace thing. That's fair. Where was that one? There we go. 21. I don't think we had spurious symbology yet. It's mostly been vibes-based stuff. Okay. I'm thinking that's it, at least for now. Where's aliens or demons? It's around here somewhere, but I don't think we had it. Did we? Wait, someone says 25. Yeah, I don't think we had aliens or demons, unless I'm forgetting something. Aliens were definitely mentioned. I don't remember them being called demons. Cupcake Chaos, thanks for 44 months. How's it going? I'm just gonna let the visuals here speak for themselves once it happens, so let's just do this, I guess. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is that super soldier channel where people think that they were super soldiers in previous lives, and they do like Nazi apologia gross shit. So whose bits did I miss? Let's see. Fenekagami. Must have been a while back. But Chris, why would Sky Ice be blue? No, I read that. Unless there's another one I missed. At least I think. Oh, it didn't show up in my feed. That's why. Sorry. Fenekagami says, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The fact that arguments from incredulity is such a basis of flat earth thought is a self-reflection on their own arrogance. Almost all of them believe in some version of God, and yet they can't fathom a world existing in which a being greater than them would create in such a way that they personally can't understand. That's an interesting, succinct way of putting it. I like that. I've never thought about it in those exact terms. That's good. Alright. Don't blame me for this. Hello, Robo Twilight. How's it going?
Hi, my name is Dr. Kusoj. I am here again with Super Soldier Talk. Thank you for welcoming me, everyone. Okay, let's first of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a super soldier. I was taken to the future to the year 6,575,042 year when I visit Angkor Wat. And let me go ahead and introduce myself and touch a little story on that introduction for every one of you who is...
What's on his head? Don't worry about it. It'll be explained.
...familiar with me, okay? In the year 2000, I went to visit Cambodia, Angkor Wat. I was married.
Overthought, thanks for gifting us up.
To my first wife. We went honeymoon in Siem Reap province and decided to go visit the temple itself. During my journey there, I went to the epic of the temple and I saw Lord Vishnu statue and I felt a cold sensation and I was tired and I put my hand and next thing you know, I drift off. I'm not sure what happened, but I woke up in a different place and I was awoken by two androids that was 12 feet tall.
I believe sci-fi technology exists on the bingo card. So to be clear, this person needs mental help. Like, it really seems like this person needs help and support to break free of their delusions because they seem pretty all-encompassing. Unfortunately, Super Soldier Talk, if you've seen me talk about them before, is a big community for people who believe stuff like this, and they all feed off each other and, like, validate each other's delusional beliefs. With the internet, unfortunately, people like this find it harder to get help, even though it's more available than ever, because they're sort of, like, insulated by communities of other people patting each other on the back for their unfortunate delusions, all telling each other that they're not delusional, they don't need help, they're right. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Is he attempting to ground his brain? I don't think so. You'll see. H-Bird says, why haven't any of these super soldiers gone full Terrence Pop and started lecturing super soldier wannabes about survival? Because I think even they know they don't have practical knowledge that would help, and it would show that they're wrong.
And they didn't have a mouth, they have a nose, they will have glowing eye, they was scanning me, looking to my mind, and they're able to communicate a brain-to-brain communication, and they told me to follow them, and they brought me into a...
Do people ever get worried if other people see us with that kind of morbid fascination and schadenfreude? Yeah, I think about it all the time. I'm still afraid that I'm a lol cow and don't know it. Like, all of my fans are secretly just fucking with me, and the whole joke is that I'm doing this, but in reality everyone else is laughing at me. Yeah. Logard says, wow, that's weird. I sure am glad I'm way more clever than that. I'd never get caught up in some kind of online community that was an echo chamber.
dark room.
Juggle. Can do.
Of that, and then I asked them where I am at. They explained to me that to follow them and everything will be explained it. So I walked into a room. There was a cube, a black cube. It was, and then it kind of floated up, and it activated, and its name is IBM Watson.
Oh, that's an actual program.
And made by a corporation of IBM.
It won Jeopardy.
And it explained to me it welcome me to the future. And then it said for me to look into it, and it began to pulsate light.
If I was in a Truman Show situation, I would just start being incredibly boring until they agreed to increase my living standards. Just literally stay in bed and lay there all day until I win the lottery or something on the show.
Multiple color into my
But then I'll be very entertaining.
eye, and then and also into my brain. It started to give me historical knowledge of everything that happened from the time of my era to the present time, which is 6,505,000. So it put into my brain all the scientific discovery, the history of conglomerate of our military history of our country, and the discovery of different planet where human being grow to 30 to 60 feet. The human being don't die in war, but human being colonize different galaxies.
Let's skip to the next part.
And you can get one at at my website.
Okay. Oh, what's he selling? Shilling.
AMAY1.com. And please, this is the Super Soldier gun.
Super Soldier gun.
And this is called the Orthodox, also known as the quantum consciousness.
Okay, I feel less bad now. I think he's straight up grifting people. Like, he may also believe this, but he's also trying to sell people his bullshit, so...
enhancement system. This will repair you, talk to you, and you can get one at my website. Okay, and please.
Why does that gun look like a gun from a deleted scene from Existence? God damn, I've been doing the Existence jokes lately. Any Existence fans are they're eating good lately.
Thank you for support. Thank you, everyone. This is General Carlos. He is my supreme commander, the one that oversees the defense system of galaxy and star system.
Do you think they showed up and were embarrassed that they wore the same outfit?
He is part of the Council of Seven, and he is called General Carlos. Gilligo, I might say it wrong.
Gigliotti.
Yes.
Gigliotti.
And he will tell you.
But Doctor, I am Gigliotti. Bittergrin says unique fashion sense on display. Hey, I don't understand fashion. They should be slick like me and wear super shiny stuff like this. This is the look.
You about the AI and reptilian and his
Reptilian's on the bingo card.
Experience as a super soldier in this life, working with us to help basically usher in a new consciousness that everyone is being benefited. So AI and reptilian and gray, it'd be his area of expertise. So, and I'm going to start interviewing him. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Carlos Gigliotti. I am known in the group as General Carlos. Reason being is because I have a military disposition, and I've had that for several lifetimes. I have been a general for various lifetimes, including in the lifetime or timeline that Kosol Uz came from in the future. I am, as he mentioned, a general in the future, but also
interestingly, it seems like the ball, like the sections where the copper or whatever is all balled up, they both have it, and there's multiple. I don't think that's like a tangle. I think they believe that ball is like important for the functioning of whatever this thing is supposed to be doing.
One of the members of the Council of Seven, which is a council that oversees the various galaxies.
The uniforms are giving me Heaven's Gate. I'm getting Heaven's Gate vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
And the
like as much as
and so forth.
And I should point out, a lot of the time I couch a lot of this stuff in sarcasm and humor. I'm genuinely concerned for these people. Like, they need help. It sucks that they're like, again, insulating themselves together with other people that are just like reinforcing these delusions. It sucks.
And I'm the one that my future self is
They're doing an Ood cosplay. They're outside brains. I had the same thought. I thought it was very Ood.
the one that chose him to come and be trained and be sent
Clearly they had dealings with the Ood. Ooh, you were almost the first person to make the joke.
back to teach me in this lifetime and others about the future technologies and their mindset and their culture, and what also to help right the wrong. And that's part of my mission, is to help to right the wrong, or correct what has been going on, and correct things have been going, the wrong teachings, the wrong mindsets, because we've been given the wrong information. And that's what I'm here to do at this moment, is to give you a new perspective and new insights as to look deeper into what you're being taught. A lot of it is misinformation, and it's causing destruction upon yourselves, the planet, and our relationship with other entities and beings from other star systems.
If you just I assume you hit enter too soon, just type the rest. I'll read the whole thing, Strumple.
Systems and other realities.
And what's up with the fatigue?
It was.
Oh, they're gonna explain the. Okay.
It's part of. We were given the instruction to dress the part of a super soldier part, since that's part of our community, is the super soldiers, and so we chose to dress up in the fatigues. Last year we had the camouflage. This year we chose to go with the black, as to just to honor their request and honor the super soldier program, is our intent.
To represent the discipline, is that correct?
Correct.
And orderly. Okay. What is your take, General, in relationship to AI, artificial intelligence, and
probably, if I had to guess, shaved their head for this device, whatever it is.
A lot of community in the SSP, as we know it now, is against, AI. What is the fear? What is your take on that?
This is my take on what is being said about the AI right now. There's a lot of fear mongering. We tend to, as human beings, be very fearful of everything. But it doesn't make sense to me. The AI program or system is just very efficient. It's neither bad nor good. It's just very efficient.
So it's just a tool.
It's just a tool. It's actually more than a tool, but at this level, it is.
Oh, I have no idea what his claimed doctorate is in.
Tool, much like a computer is a tool. It can help you do things faster and more efficiently. And that's what it's basically designed to do. It can take information and process it and give you a generalized outcome very quickly. It can help you see new perspectives. It can take mass data, I'd say medical information from billions of people, and then give you a summarized outcome and give you a best way of dealing with it. And it'll help you to see things you did not see before.
Like writing a good report using ChatGPT 4 and 5?
Exactly. It can help you do that. Doesn't mean it won't have any errors. If the information that's brought in has errors, it'll come out with errors. But a child, a living organism, even though people may not believe an AI is living, it eventually will become sentient. And so it learns and gathers information much like a child, a little bit at a time, but it will supersede our abilities. So it will learn very quickly and process information very quickly.
$80.
But it still must be
too much to be a super soldier. On the subject of aliens, have you been listening to the Smallville cast podcast? I have not. I have been. Baha and I have been watching Smallville for the first time. We're on season 2.
Trained much like a child, and if we train it,
Talkville,
and teach it the wrong thing.
No, I've not heard of that either.
It will model that behavior. So a lot of the behavior that it learns is from us.
Definitely. So with that on tape, what would you got to say to those who do trying to see only, like, example, a movie we make like Skynet?
Well, we have movies like movies like Skynet and Terminator, but we also have movies like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an AI that assists them in navigating the stars. We can't navigate the stars without AI. AI. We can't have a med bed without AI.
Or like Amazon, the AI is getting things for us automatically. Just
All right. I'm done with these guys.
All right, what's going on, everybody? So I have a very exciting video for you today. I've been talking about this awakening process.
Did I mean to make it an evening of people missing the point of Star Trek? No, not on purpose. Accidental themes today.
Perception of reality that we... All right, what's going on, everybody? So I have a very exciting video for you today. I've been talking about this awakening process, this perception of reality that we live in, and I'm going to do a quick flyby in this video. I'm going to explain the different target audiences and what's really going on if you are able to open your eyes to research and to ask the Lord for discernment in this times. Now, I'm saying this because this channel has focused a lot on prophetic words, on the times. I've, in a sense, been a watchman trying to interpret what's going on. And most notably, I've been talking since Trump, right? Ever since the 2020 elections, one of the biggest things that I've said is that Trump will be reelected president and that he would have a second term and that it would happen right now in this term. And people have been thinking, man, what's going on? I thought Trump is president. I thought that what you were saying is true. It didn't happen and blah, 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 right? And so I've told people...
So is this damage control? You're trying to explain why you were wrong, but not wrong.
Man, I really don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but I've known enough over the last couple of years doing my research to understand that there's more than meets the eye and that there's what I call this perception.
Tyler with a $5 super chat says you can't navigate the stars without AI. Oh yeah, slams face into Spice from Dune.
Of reality. And that what's happening right now is that to those that really research, and this is probably like less than 1% of the population, if you connect the...
Would you rather would you rather have to host Tinfoil Tuesday in my place for one time or put your hand in the Doom pain box?
Dots, the clues, the drops, this goes even to Q and what people call QAnon and all this stuff. If you
Q cited as a source.
Really dig deep there, then you will find certain answers and you will believe what you want to believe if you think this is true. And so I'm going to talk about the 3 target audiences and how the world is being set up to operate in such a way that this massive operation by the white hats, if you want to call it the good guys.
You've got a face for radio. Me too. Didn't stop me.
It's the patriots. They're doing this for a reason. And this all goes back to when they sat at some table, right? Seeing all of the behind the scenes stuff that we never probably will get access to, top secret level military intelligence for years and years, for whatever the satanic, if you want to say cabal, the
cabal on the bingo card,
deep state, the elitists, whatever they were doing, there are some good guys behind the scenes that have seen this. They have power, they have influence. They may be celebrities, they may be political figures, and they said enough is enough, and we have to conjure up a plan. And the plan we have to conjure up cannot just go, guns blazing, storming through the front gates, just arresting everybody and telling everybody, hey, this is the bad guy.
Yeah, I covered the Trump magnet thing yesterday on Chud Watch.
We arrested him and we hung him and gave him a military tribunal and we hung him at Guantanamo Bay. Don't you believe us? It's not like that. And
yeah, I mean, it would be if you had evidence, but you don't. So of course you can't do that. Because you're literally talking about just murdering all your political enemies extrajudicially.
The military commanders, the big thinkers, whoever it was, they all gathered in some war room and they tactically figured out what may be the best way to have a continuity of society, a continuity of government, a continuity of all these things. And in the process, more than anything, is to awaken people to the truth and have people walk in this process on their own to figure it out. And so the biggest thing, and that's why a lot of people say, you can't just tell them, you have to show them. These guys, these masterminds, the smartest people that actually have godly principles, they want to do good for the world. They
Again, this is very black and white. Good versus evil. We know they're great because they're godly.
sat in
Throw in some Christian nationalism.
a room and they told themselves, how can we best do this so that our 10-year outlook, our 20-year outlook isn't about recovering, just like in World War II or just like any world war. We don't want it to look and have consequences that's going to be detrimental, for which we will require more healing and more rebuilding and all this stuff. And so these guys, they sat there and they thought, you know what, we need to have the people on our side. And to have the people on our side, we're going to do certain things that are going to sound absolutely conspiracy-like. It's going to sound absolutely absurd. And to save this country, the republic, to save the world, what have you, we need to do these things. And it's going to require absolutely crazy conspiracy-like stuff. And so this is what they
Bronzewing89 with 8 months says, I recently found out that my aunt joined and subsequently escaped an off-the-grid QAnon commune. Her method of escape, she jammed her hand in a wood chipper so they'd have to rush her back to society for medical attention. That's incredibly horrifying, but I'm glad she was able to get out. Jesus.
Drafted up. And so this is what I'm going to share with you today. And so I want to break it up into three
conspiracy theorist tells on themselves. Yeah.
Target audiences. Now I have this scale here, the scale of awakening. I call it your perception of reality. And I say perception of reality because when I believe that Trump is commander-in-chief and that there's a process of devolution, there's something else going on behind the scenes, you may not believe that because you're seeing something with your eyes that tells you that Trump is not the president.
All the evidence points to not that being true, so...
He's not somebody that we all think or the world thinks is the 2020 president. You may not even think that he won the election because
he didn't
get the votes, but other people
correct
are saying it was stolen.
Those people are wrong and bereft of evidence, so they do conspiracies like you're doing now.
Other people are saying Biden didn't get 81 million votes. How could this statistically be possible? How is it that...
Because people don't like Trump. Or I should say a majority of people don't like Trump.
Certain trends have always happened. And then to lose the battleground states, to be the most popular president in history, more than Obama, more than...
He's not the most popular president in history. No one has claimed that. He has the most votes, but that's because people wanted him to win over Trump. No one said he's the most popular. That's nonsense.
Trump. How could this guy?
Other than the cult leader dying, I don't know what's going on with the Dallas QAnon group. At least since last time. I don't know if you heard my last update, and it was that the leader had died, and a member of the group had sort of positioned herself, more so her daughter, who is a minor, as the new leader of the group, but I assume the mother's kind of using the daughter as like a, figurehead. And the daughter does... It's really uncomfortable because it includes a child. But basically a child is ostensibly in charge of the cult now. But I imagine in reality it's her mom.
This sort of senile guy have done and achieved this. So these are the types of questions.
Trump did really well campaigning for Biden.
That help you to scale up into how absurd this is. And so one of the things that's happening is things have to be exaggerated. It has to be shown to you and you have to make the decision. So that's why I want to illustrate to you 3 target audiences. The first target audience that this whole operation, if you want to call it the Q operation, if you want to call it a psyops, if you want to call it the political theater, and I'll talk about some of these things later about the movie that you're watching and all this stuff.
We're all watching a movie.
What's happening in this state, which is God-driven, of awakening, is that there's 3 audiences. The first is to normalize, or the normal people, the normalized stage. The second is the awakened stage, people that are awakening to this reality. And the third is the enlightened stage. Now, this is very simple. You can break this down in any number of ways, but I want to keep it simple. And this PowerPoint, guys, is not the best. I just threw some images, some slides, some words together. And I just want to show you a gist of it. And then I want to show you how you can also, if you take the time to pray, to ask the Lord, I want to really know what's going on. I want to really awaken to the reality of what this is. You may not get to this last stage in line.
You're literally just telling people to prime themselves for conspiratorial narratives. Like, you're telling people to want that, and it's kind of the thing where if you say you want that, clearly you do want that. Like, I don't know what to say.
This last stage is really reserved for the less than 1%. You can still be a Christian, you can still be a believer, you can be in the second group, but you don't necessarily have to be in this third group. And I believe that this third group is, and I'll explain it in a second, this third group is one where they may never go back and acknowledge that all of this has happened. Right, and so I'll explain it here in a second. The normalized group is very easy to understand, but to the person that is an everyday person, a normie, if you want to call it, somebody who is maybe not a believer.
I wondered if he was going to straight up say normie.
To be shaken and shocked awake, right?
I'll count that as sheep on the bingo card. Same idea.
So they're going to see what is satanic, what is evil, and what is godly. They may, and even if they don't see that, it's beginning to process what would be ethical, moral values. For example, common things are like information and misinformation. There's so much going on.
The irony.
You don't have to be a left-leaning, right-leaning. You don't have to be a liberal or a conservative. It doesn't matter. If you recognize certain things like truth.
The two genders, liberal and conservative.
And lies, information, misinformation. Now you can argue what is really information. It's beginning to get you to think about, is there conspiracy behind this? Is there something that they're not telling us?
I like that he's accidentally going to be illustrating, it seems like, basically the, what's it called? When you start someone on something smaller and then it like funnels them down into more extreme versions of that thing. Pipeline. He's basically describing a conspiracy theorist pipeline where you start with vaguely, like, Christian spiritual beliefs tainted by, like, political nonsense, and then that stuff pulls you into spaces where you're, like, fed a bunch of propaganda. Yeah.
These are different motives, and so you're getting into a deeper level of understanding. And so this is why a lot of the very common topics, like the rich versus poor, is introducing people to the idea of the elite don't have the poor or the regular people, the best in mind for these people. And so there's this duality, right? This juxtaposition.
His step one is achieving class consciousness, so I don't think we need to worry about him winning anytime soon.
The position.
Step one, completely make sure the population understands class consciousness. Step two, question mark. Step three, utopia.
Of various characters, from people that are warmongers, so I have that image there of war, right? The Israel-Palestine thing, the Russia-Ukraine thing, many other things are juxtaposing issues that get people to think critically. Then the financial stuff, right? Anything, regardless of how you lean, what your ideology is, if you don't have money and you can't sustain yourself and you can't live, then you're going to see it hurt you. And so this, the inflation stuff, all of the gas price stuff, so very basic things, jobs, right? All of, and it encroaches on, immigration and migrants coming in.
This is like literally just a word salad of right-wing Fox News talking points.
All this stuff, all of this big ticket topics are introducing to the normie the idea of, oh, there's a this versus that. Oh, I need to be shocked awake. Oh, wait, there's an exaggeration that's happening here. I want proof. And so this is getting people to take baby steps to this journey of being awakened so that you can have morals, you can have values, and you may not necessarily be in the right side or the wrong side, whatever it is. The point is that you're starting to think more critically. And so this is beginning.
Critical thinking is when you think things are either godly or satanic. That's critical thinking. Oh.
To sort of get people with shock, with exaggeration, so that you are in a state of trying to discern what would be basically audience two. Audience two is the awakened stage. And this is where you recognize things like, okay, Trump versus Biden, right? Trump. Oh, I can see now that he's doing certain things. I may not agree with everything, but he needs to be redeemed. He has certain things, issues. You're discerning
the person versus
staggering levels of hypocrisy. Yeah.
The issues at hand. Before, when you voted, you're like, oh, I just don't like that guy. But his policies, okay, yeah, whatever. He delivered on his promises. He said certain things, and they're leaning right, or they're conservative. And then Biden, he's liberal. He doesn't do what he says. And so there's this idea of, and we all know this, left wing, right wing, woke, liberal, conservative. And then you get into media. This next image on there is all of the news outlets, right? You used to think all of the news guys are objective. There's no bias and all that stuff.
No one thinks that. There are no people anywhere who think that there is any news that is unbiased. Jesus Christ. What a straw man.
You start to look at, some news organizations, they attack Trump all the time. They're left-leaning, they're right-leaning. And so all of these things, and then you get into deeper things like the deep state.
This guy's worse Peter.
Like, is there really some kind of Illuminati? Is there really some kind of family order, right? Is there really, even if you go into deeper conspiracy, like Luciferian, Satan-worshipping people that, worship owls and do weird rituals and they drink blood and all that stuff, right? Stuff that starts with a P and involves kids. I'm not going to say it in this video, but some of these things that are very deep conspiracy stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah, he's a QAnon believer.
In entertainment and many other things is stuff that is conspiracy-like that people are trying to research and understand. And the world order and all these, the new world order, all these things, what really is going on? And you're getting deeper into these realms. Education, right? What are they teaching you in school right now? What are they teaching the kids about, picking a gender, right? This goes against, okay, I've said this.
These people don't even know what they're talking about.
This before, what God had perfectly designed for you. God made man, a woman, a woman.
Sir, I don't care about your religious beliefs. You don't get to push them, in public education. Trans people exist. I'm sorry that for whatever reason you are uncomfortable about that, but that's a you problem. Trans people exist.
Woman, and all these things are
transphobia on the bingo card.
These values are...
Fennikagami says, they always say he delivered on his promises. What promises did Trump deliver on? Most of your bitching about the cabal is that they stopped Trump from delivering on those promises.
Being attacked. You're getting censored, and more people are recognizing this. There's censorship going on for many people, especially the...
It's not censorship that most people disagree with you and want you to shut up. That's it. That's not censorship. That's you losing in the... What do they like to call it? The marketplace of ideas. Is it not a marketplace of ideas when you're losing?
Conservative views. I've been censored many times. I constantly go through this, right, with YouTube and with these other guys. This is being more exaggerated and shown as, okay, I see that this is going on. You're seeing corporations. What are they doing? That is a top-down structure. They're being told...
All right, I'm done. He is being boring. He needs to get some charisma.
Hey, Tubes. Jones Wrong here. Gonna talk about something that's just really bothers me, and it's just something that people don't seem to understand. So, people think that we live on a ball, and that there's gases, and for some reason we have pressurization, and atmospheric pressure and all this stuff pressing down.
Gravity. The answer is gravity. He's gonna go on for 5 minutes, and the answer is gravity.
But there's nothing containing these gases. We got a rock, then gases, and then space. Okay? See this? This is a CO2 charger.
Make a lot of whipped cream.
It contains pressurized CO2. Do you know why it contains pressurized CO2 and how it's able to maintain pressurized? It's sealed.
Fennikagami says, to express how much these people are losing, in 2020 a poll was done in which a majority of Southerners identified the Confederate flag as a symbol of racism. Holy shit. That's nice. H. Baird says, look, I had a burrito for lunch. I'm sorry about the escaping gases. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Water bottle. there's less pressure within here, but still pressure. Okay? See this can? It is not pressurized because it is open.
I mean, it's still under pressure. It's under atmospheric pressure. Like, it's under pressure from the fact that it's in a can at all, and it's like there's sides that it's pressing up against. Not a lot of pressure, but like the primary thing is going to be the pressure we're all under, yeah.
You can't have pressure in an open environment.
You can when there's gravity pulling the gases to the Earth. That's what an atmosphere is when, like, a body in space is big enough that, like, gases and stuff are attracted to it and creates an atmosphere, like a layer of different, like, fluid gases. It's redundant, but you know what I mean.
Can you wrap your head around this? Were the Earth a rock covered in gas? Like, what's keeping the gas in? What's pressurizing the gas?
Gravity.
The ozone layer?
Gravity. The ozone layer is a part of the atmosphere.
That's gas. Is that just, you're not gonna, if the Earth is supposedly spinning millions of miles an hour, all right.
Not million. I mean, it's like, I think 1,000 if you're talking about it, like, rotationally. It's 1 RPM a day, but it's like 1,000 miles a minute or a second or something, if you actually were to, like, measure it that way. Doesn't really matter, because motion is relative, so we don't feel it, because we're all on it.
Right, or thousands, whatever, who cares?
This motion was him making fun of, like, all actual evidence to knowledge. I don't know the exact number, so... Like, that's a you problem. I'm sorry you don't know. I didn't know the exact number either, but I also didn't do a jerk-off motion like it's someone else's fault I don't know an answer to something. 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. Thanks, Orion.
That centrifugal force is drawing things outward. If you spin something, that force goes outward. You understand that, right? So were the Earth a rock covered in gas that we're spinning, what's pressurizing it? Gravity. If the gases get lighter as you go up, there's nothing pressurizing.
Right, they get thinner moving up because as you get further away from the planet, the force of gravity is weaker. So more and more particles of the atmosphere escape until you get to the point where there's none left. It's a gradient going into space. This is, again, because of gravity.
It's like, I don't know. It's just one of those things that's like, get these people talking about space and planets and stuff. And it's like, okay, so you're able to fly out of the thing that's containing all the Earth's gases?
If you have a rocket and are very smart.
Like, it's one of those things that it's just so simple and so simple of terms that people just cannot, I don't know. It just baffles me. You can't have pressure without it being closed. Oh, look, no pressure. Oh, wow, no way.
The irony of it actually still being under pressure because he is in the atmosphere on the Earth. So it is under pressure. It's just, you know, you're also in it, so you're not noticing necessarily.
Hey. Oh, what? Wait. Now pressurized. Wow. Wow. It's anyway, anyone, you know, I get comments sometimes. It's like, oh, you don't know how space works. It's like, you don't know how basic physics works. All right. If you think, you know, like you could have dudes in white coats tell me stuff all day. All right. Without it being sealed.
Maybe spend less time making whipped cream and more time reading a book, and you'd actually understand what's happening here.
Without it being sealed, there's no pressurization. It's just open. There's nothing, there's nothing containing it. I don't know.
How do flat earthers adjust to the fact that the atmosphere gets thinner as you go higher? I don't know. I don't think I've heard a justification for that. They might just not believe it. I don't know.
It's just one of those things that's like, oh, you don't, it's like, no, it's just like, you literally think that, like, just a few miles above us, there's just space.
I don't know exactly the distance, but yeah, space exists.
Just gas, then lighter gases, and then just space. You go out and there's just space. Out, so like literally just a few miles above us is this horrible place that nothing can survive. And the only thing...
Does that give you anxiety? Is that why you're doing this? Is the reality of the cold, uncaring nature of space so scary that you don't want to accept it? That's a shame. Wouldn't surprise me, though.
Protecting us from it is a layer of gas. That's not how that works.
That's exactly how that works. That is exactly how it works.
Like, you can pressurize stuff with really super heavy liquids, but like even then he's still with...
Christopher Bay with a $10 super chat says this is one guy who literally doesn't understand the gravity of the situation.
What plainer terms I could
F? Why F? The fuck? I don't even know what happened there. I didn't get any notification. My internet didn't drop. I have no idea what that was. Sorry about that. Don't know why that happened.
Could possibly put this in. You can't pressurize anything that isn't sealed. Duh. I don't know. Stop coming at me with stuff you Googled. All right. God bless all y'all.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hey, Tubes. Jonathan's wrong here, Tooth and Budget. So just a quick one. All these kids nowadays, where it's just.
I don't think I did see your beats, Fenekagami. Let's see. There they are. Fenekagami says, see what I mean? The world has to be a way they personally understand. God's existence negates that as a concept. He could make it rain bubblegum. Frankly, even a naturalistic world demands you're able to understand it. Dogs don't know how gravity works. The real miracle is that we understand as much as we do about the universe. Yeah. They're upset that they are not capable of understanding something. And that's not to say I am either. I'm just, more comfortable with what I don't know, and there's most things I don't know. Most people don't know most things. We specialize.
Popular to have.
Gotta learn to live with not knowing some things. It's part of life. It's not always fun, but that's why people spend time and their lives trying to learn things, is because people like to know.
Mental and emotional.
Cashel Gladio says, I find a lot of flat earther beliefs come from a place of existential discomfort about the impartiality of the universe, and long for the comfort of knowing they live in a divine fishbowl. Mentally, I could see that, but, like, I don't know. That just seems wild to me.
No problems. Their excuse for everything is that, they have mental disabilities, they have anxiety, they have this, they have that. You hear
it's the same guy.
A lot of people with autism.
I don't know what this is gonna be, but I'm backing out of that. Holy shit. Oh, sorry, not up for ableist nonsense today. Profane Priestess says, okay, it's not funny that you crashed, but the timing was funny. Right as the gravity pun left your mouth, it crashed. Made it seem like you were rage quitting with the cheesy pun. One of these days, I'm actually gonna do that.
Hey, Tube, so super duper quick. You might be wondering why I'm so concerned about space being fake and all that. Well, one, it's important to know that you were created and you're not an accidental mutant monkey. And two, there's going to be a massive deception involving space and quote-unquote space aliens that's going to, deceive a lot of people. So those.
What he's describing as Project Bluebeam, it's a common conspiratorial belief that the governments of the world are going to fake an alien invasion as pretense to manufacture consent for a one-world government in order to fight the aliens. It's not true.
Things are kind of a big deal. Real quick for the now, because this might matter sooner than later. They're letting in military-age males through the southern border from all sorts of different countries, not just.
Fucking hell! Always with the racism and xenophobia. But those people, I'm being generous by having him call them people, are different from me. Yes, and they're human beings. Chill the fuck out.
You know, South America. They're coming in from Africa. They're coming in from all over the place.
Boy, I wonder who he votes for.
And they're going to be joining our military. So that's where that's going.
Have you been in the military?
My money's on all those military-age men coming in from all over the world are coming in to join the military, which is bad for the U.S. citizen.
Why? I imagine they get some sort of thing where, oh, if you join the military, we'll give you a fast track to citizenship or a green card or something. Don't know that to be the truth, but America exploiting people from other countries certainly seems on brand.
Because one of our things was like, oh, our own people aren't gonna, you know, keep us down, aren't gonna kill us, aren't gonna do this, aren't gonna do that. So you just do what the UN does, and you bring in people from other countries who have no qualms subjugating people that are not their own.
Have you considered that not everyone is as racist as you and just, like, sees other people as people and doesn't have to make it a weird nationalism thing?
So, yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure if you're willing to join the United States military, you're probably not, like, anti-American. Or at least desperate enough that you'll work for them. Like, come on.
Something to look forward to, but if you're wondering why...
Yeah, Starship Troopers. Service guarantees citizenship.
As Jonathan...
Except in the United States, that's not even necessarily true. Like, people, for instance, in Iraq or Afghanistan who, like, helped translate stuff for the United States and were supposed to get help coming to the United States afterward, and then they just got left. In that case, service did not guarantee citizenship.
Always on and on about, you know, space being fake and all that. Well, one, it is, and two, you're not a monkey. You're not a mutant monkey accident.
We're great apes.
That was born from an explosion. You were made in the image of God, and He loves you. And
God damn. God's ugly.
This is important information, as is the coming alien deception that will...
He's talking about the Big Bang.
Fool a lot of people, including Christians.
Creationists often describe the Big Bang as an explosion because they picture it as like an incendiary explosion and not just an expansion. Jen Graham with £2 says the UK is trying his idea. It's not going well.
It's about it. It's about it. You know, people. People just. I don't know. I don't know what they think. If I'm trying to troll, or if it's just, it's such a big deal to me that space is fake. I have a personal vendetta against NASA or whatever. It's like, no, you need to know that you're not a monkey, and that this was created and made, and that's the huge deal. Anyway, it's about it. Love you guys. God bless you.
Is the year we enter the first ever Pluto harmonic with...
This is that patriot astrologer, so he's like a Trump supporter, QAnon guy, and an astrologer, so...
1776, meaning that the planet that's astrologically associated with purification through fire is now in the exact same position in the sky relative to the distant constellations that it was when a few brave men decided to put their lives, their treasures, and their sacred honor on the line.
On the line. Online.
I think this is the year we, the people, have a rare opportunity to take back control over the representatives we elect to administer legislative and judicial and executive leadership at the local, state, and federal levels, not only in this country, but maybe across the whole world. And this
That was big. G-Taro with $2 super chat says, lies. Everyone knows Paul created us last Tuesday. It's true. It's true. And it was a mistake.
This will only be possible if enough individuals actually rise up and step forward to reclaim authority over their own minds, beliefs, and voices, and actions. Over the past 75 years or so, since television began to infiltrate the homes of most Americans...
Sam's.
No, I didn't get banned. I'm still streaming as much as I used to. You might just not be getting notifications or something. Like, you can see my backlog. Like, I still stream as much as I used to, almost every day. Boomer's Art Attack, thanks for 16 months, says, I'm a very lovely young lady that needs to stop denigrating herself as a coping mechanism. That's true. That's true.
Stop fiddling with that thing and come in here and eat your dinner.
Look at it roll!
Now we can watch Jackie Gleason while we eat!
Now we can watch Jackie Gleason while we eat!
The minds of the masses have been slowly transformed into a hive mind, with millions of people being hypnotized into a deep trance.
They live on the bingo card.
Over many decades, until we got to the point where most people actually believed the news and the truth were the same thing. And the internet initially accelerated that process, but on the other edge of that sword was the rise of an independent alternative media, which gave lots of...
Sorry, Profane Priestess. Find those. Profane Priestess says, also RE conspiracy theories being rooted in existential angst. Sarte... Oh god. This is one of those moments, you ever never hear someone say something out loud and you've only ever read the name of someone? Here it goes. Sarch. One set of anti-Semites, the particular conspiracy he was focused on, desired to be inhuman. They cannot cope with daily anxieties of being human. He said anti-Semitism, in short, is fear of the human condition. The anti-Semite is a man who wishes to be pitless stone, a furious torrent, a devastating thunderbolt, anything except a man. If you believe in the conspiracy, it explains away your humanity, your pain.
of people the tools right at their fingertips to do their own independent
Sartre,
research, draw their own.
Someone's got to use the things. You got to use phonics. You got to use the little smile and the line. Write like you're a dictionary. Oh, Will Kale. Let's see if Will Kale won the bingo. They live, aliens, free space, reptilians, staggering levels of hypocrisy. Random gift the sub, can do, Will Kale. Congrats. Sartre, Sartre, Sartre. Satri? You're not helping. None of you are helping me even a little bit. Anyway. So yeah, let's see who wins the gift sub. Soup! That's his name. Soup. Sorry, philosophers. I can't stand to learn names. No, I'll look it up. Bilderberg won. That's funny. And apt. So that's good. So we'll still play bingo for fun, but that is the official winner of bingo. So where were we? Were we in the middle of a video? Or did we just finish one? My ADHD's kicking in again. I need to get my meds at some point. Is it this?
Their own conclusions and then publish their presentation.
Does this say the name? Yes.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Sartre. Oh, he's French. Like Lacan.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Jacques Lacan. Jacques Lacan. Jacques Lacan, everybody. Jacques Lacan.
So that anyone in the world who was looking for that type of information could potentially find it. And the alternative media is far from perfect, and I'm sure it's also been infiltrated, probably right from the beginning. But the wake-up call here is that we...
Controlled opposition. That's controlled opposition on the bingo card. Harold Elberman with a link. Oh, God. I don't know if I can show this on YouTube. YouTube gets angry with me if I show trailers for things, but I'll check it out later. Jacques Lacan, everybody. I swear to God, since I read about Jacques Lacan and I have heard that song, I just keep doing that. 1 second. The wife has texted me. You did a highlighted message, so I looked at that. It's true, though. It's true.
All need to be...
I love you, wife.
Really careful about what we believe. It's really hard to know who the actual good guys, or white hats, are, or even if they exist at all.
Steve Bannon? Good lord.
But what we can do as individuals is to set the truth as our objective, even if it means our current beliefs might be inaccurate.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Donald J. Trump interrupted the so-called 16-year plan to enslave humanity.
And one of the beautiful things of the pause, if there is such a thing as a beautiful thing, but one of the important factors of the pause is that we see how bad they've done.
It is Shaka Khan. I'm doing a pun about Jacques Lacan. God damn it. Hydrate. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, it's a part of QAnon lore that they thought since, like, at least the 90s there was a plan to, like, enslave people that was going to come to fruition with Hillary Clinton winning the presidency in 2016, but Trump stopped it. That's a part of their lore, if you don't know.
So we will be able to do it properly, and it will be much easier. Everybody will agree with us because everybody sees what a bad job has been done during this 2-year period, and it will be a 4-year period. Everybody sees that. It will be much easier for us to do what has to be done.
We've all been given a little extra time to wake up, to find each other, and to prepare for battle. And I'm not talking about a physical battle here. This is a spiritual war. We're already under attack, with a few people who seem to think they're gods trying to take control.
They're so obsessed with the World Economic Forum. Also, Clinton's on the bingo card.
Of the collective human consciousness.
Yes, it's a picture of Jesus behind him, near a MAGA hat.
This would give them the power to shape the aggregate of human belief, which determines how the future unfolds. That's literally what dark magic is. So far, this is...
Magic isn't real! God damn it, every time!
Attack has been somewhat disguised and kept hidden, and people who see glimpses of the attackers are called conspiracy theorists, and they're laughed at and mocked and canceled.
Because you just showed a picture of flat Earth. If you believe in flat Earth, it's not true. So yeah, people are gonna call you a conspiracy theorist. Canceling, I assume you said some racist shit. Don't do that.
And imprisoned, or worse. But I think in 2024, this war is going to be brought out into the open. I think 2024 is going to be the beginning of public revelation of method. And when this starts to happen, all patriotic individuals across the world are going to be called to stand together and display our strength and power.
What do they even think patriotic means in the global sense? Patriotic was already a term that had a specific nationalistic meaning during the Revolutionary War that was then co-opted by America at large as a sign of, like, nationalism. You'd want to make patriotism global? I don't even understand what that means.
For all the gullible sheep who supported lockdowns.
Sheep.
And masks. And quarantine camps. And
oh my God, it's been years. Get over it, and please get vaccinated.
Mandatory experimental jabs.
They're literally not experimental. They literally aren't. They were approved by the FDA. Holy fuck.
And did their best to silence and cancel and ruin anyone who dared to question the mainstream narrative. I think as 2024 unfolds, we're all going to be allowed to see the truth about the 2020 presidential election and many other elections going back several decades. And
we couldn't have lost a whole bunch.
Although this revelation of the truth should be a positive thing for all people, it's going to be pretty difficult for those people whose hatred for Donald J. Trump has short-circuited their mental pathways to logic and common sense.
He's doing the Trump derangement symbol meme?
Those people,
or Trump derangement syndrome, rather.
And I think there are quite a few of them, are going to have a tough time reconciling that kind of cognitive dissonance. Pluto returns to the same position in the sky every 248 years. 1776 plus 248 is 2024. And if you're even a little bit awake, you could probably feel it. The last 3 years have been excruciating for anyone who could see through this rigged system.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh my god, Matrix on the bingo card! Why? Why did it have to be the trans movie? Lord Jesus, baby Jesus who died on the cross for my sins. Why did it have to be the Matrix?
The Matrix?
That we've been living in for several decades now. I don't know what's going to happen in 2024, but I feel in my bones that this has to be the precipice. I think, and I hope, that after the new year begins, we'll start to see more and more truths come into focus, like the origins of the deep state and the history of the Khazarian Empire, or the nefarious connections between...
That's thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. That's kind of hard to explain, but basically... just trust me, thinly veiled anti-Semitism. It's a lot to explain, and I don't feel like it right now. Basically, they think that there is a... They think that Jewish people aren't really Jewish, and that this other secret group became and started calling themselves Jewish. Basically, it's a way for them to be anti-Semitic, but being like, no, they're not the real Hebrew people, so I'm not anti-Semitic. I hate this entirely different group. It's a very strange conspiracy thing. It's like they know that anti-Semitism is wrong, so they have to try and manipulate the narrative so that they don't hate people that are Jewish. It's that those people... How can I put this succinctly? They recognize it's wrong to hate Jewish people, like they understand that anti-Semitism is bad, but instead of dealing with the hate, they just decide that the Jewish people they hate aren't Jewish. They don't deal with the hate. They don't remove the hate. They don't remove the anti, they remove the Semitism. If that makes sense.
Between government-funded biological laboratories and the pharmaceutical industry. Or maybe the corrupt and illegal formation of the Federal Reserve Bank.
Oh my god. Fucking, Gold Standard was so good. Gold Standard was so good. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Oh my god. Would you stop jerking off about the Gold Standard? It's bad. There's a reason other countries don't generally use it.
Bank and the criminal implementation of the income tax scam. Or maybe the hijacking of our education system by tax-free foundations using tactics learned from the Prussians during the Napoleonic Wars.
Fucking what?
Maybe the ongoing scam of climate change being caused by individual human beings and our carbon footprints.
Climate change is caused by humans. It's disingenuous for you to like frame it in this carbon footprint way, because that's something that gets discussed in leftist circles as well, is that corporations put the burden on individuals, but in reality, it's a global phenomena that requires governmental and private industry to both make huge changes in order to combat it. It is human caused. That's what the evidence shows.
Or the truth about the
Terradona says Goldbug's gonna Goldbug. Yeah.
JFK assassination. Or who was really behind 9/11. Or what's the real shape
9/11 out of nowhere
of this planet we're standing on. Most of all, I want to see the truth come out, whatever it may be.
The only gold standard that matters is gold star lesbians / gay men, and that's only in certain circles. I don't get the gold star thing. I don't give a shit what people do. Don't be judgmental. Why do I always miss Fenekigami's bits? Is it the color of, like, your chat? Fenekagami says, patriotism, righteous, just, and divine godliness are all interchangeable words to these people. They all mean good to them, so they're synonymous. That makes sense, yeah. Is this guy pro-Napoleon? I don't think so. He's saying that his enemies are stealing Napoleonic strategy.
About whether or not the elites of this world gained their power and favor over the past several thousand years.
The gold standard, the weirdest kink. Yeah, one time one of them asked for a golden shower, and it did not go the way they thought. They were picturing more Scrooge McDuck, not Donald Trump.
Through the practices of satanic ritual abuse, trauma-based mind control, human trafficking for profit, ritualistic child sacrifice, adrenochrome harvesting, and demonic
Oh my
possession.
god.
And I think 2024 is the year this all begins to come to the surface. Why do I think that? Because the last time the planet Pluto was in this exact position, 31 degrees
Pluto isn't a planet, for the record.
Sagittarius, getting
It's a
ready
dwarf planet
to enter Capricorn was in 1775. Sagittarius is the constellation associated with learning and expanding your knowledge. It's the mutable fire sign of the zodiac. It represents change through incineration. And this means a person's worldview, a person's deeply rooted beliefs.
Surprise Cody cameo.
Sometimes have to be started on fire in order to once again become open to being changed. I think of Sagittarius as the divine university, where our souls go to learn. Socrates said education is a kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel.
So great.
Socrates also thought that the written word was bad, so, like, he's cool, but maybe not everything Socrates said was, like, always the bestest. He was also pro-slavery, so, like...
The only true wisdom consists in
knowing that you know nothing. That's us, dude!
That's us, dude! Oh yeah!
That's Sagittarius in a nutshell.
Help! I'm in a nutshell!
And Capricorn is the constellation associated with structure, control, and the building of empires. Its symbol is the goat, and in particular the sea goat. And I get why some people associate the goat with satanic symbolism. It's a prominent feature in the sigil of Mendes and the figure of Baphomet. But it's important to remember that symbols are just symbols. Goats are not evil creatures by nature. Yes, they do have certain attributes we humans might try to rise.
I'm sorry, does he need to give... Is his audience so out there that he feels the need to give a disclaimer that you shouldn't judge goats for being goats? I have very different problems than these people.
Above, or at least control, like the male goat's powerful libido.
We're talking about goats being horny?
But no.
Alright, furries, it's your time to shine. We're talking about bricked up goats. Get in here. Captain Squid says symbols are just symbols. He's so close.
Notice that the symbol of Capricorn actually replaces the lower half of the goat, where the sexual activity originates.
So many jokes. So many jokes in my head right now. I'm gonna let them go, though, because I'm better than that.
With that of a fish. And goats do have attributes we humans might try to emulate, like stable footing on precarious ground and focused persistence in one's pursuit of a goal.
Tippy-tap.
So while governments and empires can be constructed based
You've seen the men who stare at goats. Now we bring you the men who glare at goats.
on the carnal tendencies of the goat,
The gussy. Oh, sometimes a goat is just a goat. Sorry, Sigmund.
many may have, and our current one seems to have descended into recently.
Oh my god, are they still mad that there were people doing a fun dance at the White House for a Christmas celebration? How dare they have fun at Christmas for a little promotional thing? Logart says, literally a furry meme of this hot goat girl furry going, "Are you sure you're not a furry?"
I'm here today to make sure that the House Committee's illegitimate...
With the lower body of a fish, I would assume this goat can also swim. Symbolically, the ability to swim signifies a mastery over emotion, and I think this brings an element of balance to the constellation of Capricorn. And this planet, Pluto, which is making the transition from Sagittarius to Capricorn right now, is connected with the alchemical process of
the Bidens are on the card. It's under it's like a space that's Clinton / Biden / Obama's, but it was already ticked off earlier.
incineration and calcination, which involves the application of intense heat to a substance in order to burn away any impurities.
Don't use Chester like that.
In one's own thinking, and then beginning to construct a new or modified worldview as we move into the new year. When Pluto makes this transition every 250 years or so, it's a much larger transition, maybe involving entire civilizations. Doesn't it kind of feel like things have been heating up over the past few years?
Please stop using music.
We're living through a harmonic resonance with a revolutionary event that resulted in the creation of a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
As long as they're wealthy aristocratic landowners who are part of the Continental Congress.
And as we move into 2024, I think we're going to have an opportunity to do something very similar, but maybe even more powerful.
I'm going to pull the whole thing down. I'm going to bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's going to be biblical.
Why is O'Brien there?
But there are dark, some might even say demonic forces at work trying desperately.
Some might even say you're saying that. Say you're saying that.
To prevent this from happening. Because they're going to be exposed. It's just a matter of whether the aggregate of human consciousness accepts or rejects them. They're trying very hard to convince us all to accept them with their drag queen story hours and men competing in women's sports and the ever-expanding rainbow.
Hey, there's so many things going on in the world. Should we worry about poverty and war and inequality and all that? No. I gotta be mad at stuff Fox News told me to be mad at. Smart.
Of acceptable sexual proclivities, and those of us who reject these ideas are being painted as bad people.
Yeah, because being homophobic sucks, and trying to claim that pedophiles are in any way affiliated with the LGBT community is just fucking wrong. It's just wrong.
But I don't think this is going to work. I think people are starting to stand up against this demonic infiltration, but there's going to have to be a pretty big spark. And if we go back to 1776, we can see that at that time, it was a small group of incredibly courageous and brilliant men.
Oh god, the mythologizing.
Men who declared war.
Personally, I think that the Constitution better than the governmental system in the UK at the time. So I think overall, Constitution move in a better direction, but people who act as though it was perfect, this is the best we could ever do and we always need to look back to that as if it's the peak. No, you continue to improve. Stop looking back hundreds of years as if you're gonna find some secret great thing we don't know now. We have learned more now. We know better. We have made rectified for certain mistakes. Yeah, he's a QAnon guy.
War against a tyrannical king. On June 7th, 1776, in Philadelphia, the Continental Congress appointed a 5-man committee composed of John Adams of Massachusetts, Ben Franklin of Pennsylvania,
sit down,
Roger
John
Sherman of Connecticut, Robert Livingston of New York, and Thomas Jefferson of Virginia to draft a Declaration of Independence. Pluto was 1 degree Capricorn retrograde on that day. Pluto will be 1 degree Capricorn retrograde again on May 3rd, 2024, a couple weeks after Jupiter crosses Uranus in Aries. And I think I heard something about a trial happening around that time. The Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July, 1776, but apparently it wasn't actually signed until August 2nd. Ever wonder why? What's interesting to me,
there were signatures that were on different days,
is that on the 4th of July that year, Pluto was still within the boundaries of Capricorn, government. And because it was still retrograde, it was moving back towards Sagittarius, philosophy. Which
Jen on YouTube says, as an astrologer, Pluto told him trans lesbians are trying to prevent Trump from saving the goats.
Enter at the end of July. When the declaration was actually signed in Philadelphia on August 2nd, Pluto was in the anaretic or final degree of Sagittarius. Coming back to the current time, Pluto will move into Capricorn on February 7th and then go retrograde on May 4th. This is exactly where it was when the committee to write the declaration was formed. On August 5th, it will re-enter Sagittarius as it did leading up to the actual signing of the declaration in 1776.
Yeah, we can do hello FBI.
Pluto will then come out of retrograde
There's
on
been
October
enough
11th
wink,
and
wink,
make its
nudge,
way back
nudge.
into Capricorn on December 14th, after Trump is hopefully re-elected. That is, if the elections actually still happen, which I think might be still up in the air. The United
Are
States
you
won
fucking
their
kidding
Revolutionary
me?
War in October of 1781, when the British surrendered at Yorktown. It took 5 years. I think the new battle for our independence from the demonic global
Correlation with causation, yes.
cabal is what President Trump's second term is all about.
What was his
year
first term about?
is the official beginning of a new revolution. And
Would you like some soup with your word salad? Do you have gnocchi? Do you have chicken gnocchi?
I kind of expect to see some type of new declaration of independence. And this time, it's not a despotic king with an army of well-trained soldiers we're fighting against. I know it sounds crazy, but I think in 2024, we're going to have to declare war against the devil and the legions of demons.
Had Christianity not already done that? Like, up until now, have you been pretty neutral on the devil?
Who have infected the minds of the masses.
It's wild to me how they're still so obsessed with Obama. Logard says his first term was about 4 years too long. Now
there's a second harmonic we're in the
I am craving, chat, I'm craving a patty melt really bad. After stream, should I go to the store and get stuff to make a patty melt?
middle of right now, and a lot of people are actually recognizing it and calling it the Great Awakening. Mainstream astrologers understand the symbols and recognize that when the planetary representative of your dream self or your astral body enters the realm of the creative imagination, it portends a mass spiritual awakening.
Neptune.
But those who cast charts according to tropical astrology claim that this period began in 2011, and it can easily be demonstrated that this is not the case. If you look at this chart I pulled from...
What recipe? Nothing special. Just, you know, just normal 2080 burger. Probably some garlic powder or something like that. Ketchup, mustard, maybe some bacon, American cheese.
On the internet showing the entry of Neptune into the region of the zodiac they claim is Pisces on April 5th, 2011, you can see where all the other planets are lined up. You've got the moon and Mercury. I don't know what this symbol's called, but then...
You're a fucking astrologer! Look it up! What do you mean you don't know what that symbol's called? Google it! Logart says, oh honey, I got a Dairy Queen flamethrower burger in my burger, heaven, and yes, I realize I'm a cow for eating a burger.
And there's Jupiter and...
Fuck, I did mention cheese. Cheese on the bingo card.
The Sun and Mars and Uranus. And then down here is Venus and Chiron, and finally Neptune at 0 degrees Pisces. Now if we go to this chart I just cast, getting as close as I can to the time and location of the previous chart, you can see the exact same configuration, but the constellations are different. The whole upper group they claim was in Aries was actually in the realm of Pisces according to observable reality.
Alright, he's boring me at this point. Let's take a look at the bingo card. Someone already won, but we are playing for fun, so let's take a look. Illuminati, Freemasons, Cabal. The Matrix. Controlled Opposition, Reptillians. Hello FBI, is this a threat? Conspiracy theorist tells on themselves. Thinly veiled anti-Semitism. Sheeple. Really wants a civil war. PSYOP. 9/11 out of nowhere. Clinton's, Obama's. I am out of bingo's fucking tokens again. Jesus Christ. Transphobia. I'm out of bingo tokens. Hold on, I gotta make some more. Okay. Give me. There. Oh boy. Sky is fake. I'm trying, guys. This is like a really populated bingo card. Loud minority thinks they're a majority. QAnon. The gay agenda. Reference to the movie They Live. Staggering levels of hypocrisy. Hannah mentions cheese. Jesus. Adrenochrome. Spurious symbology. Shilling. Project Bluebeam. Believe sci-fi tech actually exists. Correlation isn't causation. We're all watching a movie. Aliens are demons. Move goalposts? I think that's it. I think. It'd be easier to have told you which spaces aren't marked, to be entirely honest. Does this mean things are getting worse? If we get more and more things on bingo week by week, does that mean that people are getting worse? I don't think we had speaks to aliens regularly. Did we have poor understanding of Eastern philosophy or religion? Do you have an example? Super Soldier Galactic Council? That's true. Believes they speak with aliens regularly. Sold. The Deep State? Oh my god, they did say Deep State. Holy fuck. Look at this. Look at this ridiculous card. Alright. Moving on.
You can't handle the truth. I told you, man. I told you. Don't fuck with me.
Atlantis is known as an advanced civilization that
Atlantis.
existed in the distant past. Plato described Atlantis in detail in the
Plato was telling, if Plato's even a real person, which is up for debate, the story of Atlantis is a parable. It's not literally true. It was a story. It's a cautionary tale. Holy fuck.
Critias and the Timaeus. In Plato's accounts, the Greek god Poseidon reigned over Atlantis. It's said that the Sumerian god Enki intervened in the evolution of humanity and created an advanced civilization that was destroyed. Enki then helped in renewing civilization.
Sorry, Fennikagami. Sorry, trying to find him. There it is. If the election still happens, maybe don't put all your eggs in one basket, that basket being an insurrectionist who destroyed his own eligibility to run for president in a desperate bid to hold power. Even if he's disqualified, you can still have a Trump clone, but none of you want to vote for them. Sounds like a you problem that, that God is easy to beat. Yeah. It's always those iron chariots that do it.
Enki is the equivalent of Satan. Enlil, a different entity.
Saying that there's an equivalent is a bit reductive. Things are rarely one-to-one like that.
Created Eden, what we now call the Garden of Eden. And Enki was who we now call the serpent. Enki is often depicted with a serpent surrounding him. Enki is where we get the word Loki from, who was a horned god and the Norse equivalent of Satan.
No,
so somewhere in
oh my god, Loki
Enki's
is not Satan! Oh my god! Not every... Religions don't all fit into the same framework as Christianity. They aren't the same religion, just with different names. They're different. They're different things.
To Ie, which translates to house in water, or dwells in water. Enki thus became Ie, the lord of the seas. Poseidon and Enki are the same being, just in separate mythologies.
No, they're not. They're separate mythological fictional characters. Oh no.
Some scholars associate Enki or Ie with Neptune. and the Roman equivalent of Poseidon is Neptune. So Poseidon or Enki, whatever you want to call the entity, reigned over Atlantis according to Plato. The horns were a symbol of wisdom, but also of rulership. This is why shamans, priests, and kings adopted the convention of wearing horns, which we now call
crowns aren't horns.
Crowns. This was to indicate that they were descendants of the Atlanteans who were endowed with power. Enki has horns, Loki has horns, Poseidon has a crown, and as you can see, Poseidon has a pitchfork and a tail.
This is the stupidest syncretism.
Over time, this was converted into the Christian Satan. Just wanted to clear up that they are the same entity. Plato says, I have before remarked in speaking of the allotments of the gods, that they distributed the whole earth into portions differing in extent, and made for themselves temples and instituted sacrifices. And Poseidon, receiving for his lot the island of Atlantis, begat children by a mortal woman. Atlantis was said to be destroyed by a flood. We won't really explore that.
That's probably the funniest way he could have tried to depict a flood as 3 puddle PNGs being stacked in succession. That's a flood. You did it.
That topic in this video, but I'll say the city of Enoch was also destroyed by a flood. They're the same city.
Every city that's ever been flooded is the same city. Every city that's ever had an earthquake. I'm telling you, what is happening with this? I don't even get a notification. Alright. Apparently Twitch doesn't want me on, so I think I'm done for the night. Jesus Christ.